It has been a long time since we've done one of these, guys, and so much has happened, so much is going on, and I normally don't do these things on Sundays because I work really early in the morning, but I felt compelled to get on here and just do an episode of the show. Um, some things I'd like to talk about tonight are just some updates on the podcast, some updates on the No Name Nationals that have been circulating because of a couple videos I posted. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Um, some project updates about the Boogie Van, and I know a lot of people have been asking about that. And then the dumpster fire, because that I'm not giving up on that project yet. For those of you that have watched the videos I put out on the No Name Nationals. And then lastly, I want to talk about the Vermont loophole. We've heard about this Vermont loophole of how you can get a car without a title. You can get it titled by going through Vermont. Guess what? I tried it and it blew up in my face. And I'm going to tell you how I did it, why I did it wrong, how I did it wrong, how you should do it if you're in my position, and save yourself a little bit of money and trouble. Um, I tried to game the system just a little bit too much, and it backfired on me. So that's what we're going to talk about. What's up, everybody in the chat? Dustin, Joe, John Wilburn, what's up? Um, I will not be accepting a fuel relief. I can't possibly do that. There's people that need it more than I do, but I definitely will promote it for you. Um, let me make something clear. I'm still planning on going to the No Name Nationals. I'm just not going to be bringing the dumpster fire. Um, I guess I should bring this up too because it really, uh, I don't even know, without sounding cheesy, something really touched my heart today. And it was the video that Ruben from Muscle City Madness put out. Um, Man, the guy offered to loan me Mr. Hyde to run Dustin. And it just goes to show you this community, how amazing it is, and how, you know, close of buddies we all are. You know what I mean? We're all in this together. And the fact that somebody would offer their car, the project that they've put all their, blood, sweat, and tears and money into, to offer that to somebody like me to still be able to participate in an event as cool as the No Name Nationals, that really touched my heart. You know what I mean? Um, and through this whole process, the amount of people that have reached out to me to help me get the dumpster fire going, um, man, it really opened my eyes to just how strong this, not just Mopar, but this car community really is. And man, it's like we're a family and we're all cousins or something. It's weird, but man, I was uh, I was just blown away at the amount of people willing to help me get to the No Name Nationals. Get the car going. Um, and then when I posted the video, because I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to make this happen. With the fuel alone, and the fuel was the big thing. So I guess we're talking about the No Name Nationals right now. So to fill you guys in that have not seen it, I posted a video basically saying that I'm backing out of the No Name Nationals as a participant, um, and with a big emphasis on the fuel costs being the contributing factor to that, which is 100% true. There were other underlying factors. Um, we've got less than 100 days left. My car still needs a lot of work, and that's okay. Uh, the plan was always to just get it running and throw nitrous on it. I just had, you know, I had one guy who is local to me, who's a friend, who made some promises to me that I basically set myself a month back for, expecting that he would come through, and he didn't. And there were some pretty big promises, and I don't hold it against him. He, it was like me saying that accepting Dustin's challenge. He bit off a little bit more than he could chew, and he hasn't said anything to me, and I left it in his court. I'm not going to beg the guy, but he had a lot of promises about an engine that I could use that he would help me build and all these parts and yada yada yada. I had a carburetor for the car, and he told me, "Oh, send that back. I got a carburetor for you." Okay, man, if you're willing to donate, he actually said donate to the cause, and I was like, hell yeah, man, I appreciate that. So I sent this carburetor back that I waited weeks for, and now nothing, silence, crickets. So that really hit me in the gut. But then everybody else, you know, a couple guys, Dustin, offered to help me. Tall John, uh, another amazing human being, offered to help me. Just Mopar Joe offered to help me. There, and the list goes on. Um, I, uh, I still can't believe how many people reached out to help me. But the one guy that I was counting on locally, because if I'm being honest, I feel like I kind of got the raw end of the deal with my engine build, which is why I'm trying to sell all the 451 parts I have, because that engine was supposed to be assembled. I paid to have it assembled, and now I have a pile of parts. So when I look at it, it kind of pisses me off. So that's why I wasn't too sad about selling it all off and starting from scratch. But you know, regardless, I shouldn't have counted on anybody. And that taught me a very valuable lesson. uh, so I was bummed. And that set me back. Buying the carb and then shipping it back, thinking this guy was going to help me. That set me back. We'll call it a month. So all these stupid little setbacks that are my own fault. They're my own fault. I should have just stuck with the original plan, which was get the car running, which now I have all the stuff to get it running. I even have a carb that was originally intended for the boogie van that I'm just going to throw on that thing just to see if I can get it to fire. And once it was running and the nitrous was hooked up, then I could at least sleep at night going, okay, it runs. Now I can put the good head gaskets on it, new rings and things like that, knowing that everything is set up. I just need to do that stuff to get it going. But it was disappointing to make the video saying that I was back, and I really didn't want to disappoint anybody. And I know a lot of people are disappointed. I've got a bunch of phone calls I need to answer back. It was my daughter's birthday weekend, this weekend, so that's why I've been a little bit radio silent, with the exception of the video. Um, and I've been under a lot of pressure from everything at work. You know, when I when I watch Ruben's lives and he talks about what he's doing to get to the No Name Nationals, he's got, extra jobs and all that. I would love to be able to do that. Here's the thing. I work 55 to 60 hours a week. I get maybe an hour with my daughter a day, during the week. And then the weekends, that's my, you know, family time. And now I'm in a position, and I put myself in this position by accepting the challenge, where all my weekends were going to have to be dedicated to getting the car built. And now we're even more crunched for time. So this is why I would say anybody, trying to help me, with fuel and things like that. I've had a couple of people reach out to me about, oh, what can we do to help? And I already made the decision. That's the decision's done. And I'm not taking any I'm not really a charity guy. You know what I mean? My registration fee for No Name Nationals, that's my donation to the cause. Um, but I just, the decision's been made. And now I'm just concentrating on getting to the No Name Nationals so I can cover it. Um, I'd like to go live, do a bunch of stuff like that. And, at least I'll be able to focus on something and still get something out of it. I really wanted to participate. I really wanted to race Dustin. I thought that would be a lot of fun. I bit off more than I could chew. And, in talking to my wife, she was all for it. She said, do what you got to do, sweetie. And I told her, she was the first person I told that I was going to back out. And I said, when I think about it, all the weekends, like the whole summer is going to be working on that piece of shit to get it to the No Name Nationals, which was fine. That's what I signed up for. But then, you know, Saturday mornings, my daughter wakes me up. And I'm sure those of you with kids know what it's like when your little 2-year-old girl wakes you up and says, Daddy, wake up. Let's go outside and play. And it's like, I'm not going to look at my daughter in the face and go, sorry, sweetie, I have to build this shit box for a race. You know what I mean? That's my kid. My kid comes first over any shitbox Mopar or anything like that. Sorry to disappoint you, but my family's first. And I'm not giving up any days with my daughter to build that car. Um, some people don't have that problem. Some people, their kids are all grown and, they got those hobbies and that's what keeps them going. I have a family. I can't, I don't have time to take on a second job to even afford the fuel if I wanted to. My second job is what I do here, making videos, which aren't very profitable, and merch sales, which are going okay, but not good enough to build a car and pay for fuel to get to this event. Um, I wish before I had jumped the gun and said, "Yes, I accept this challenge." I wish I had sat down and ran the numbers, at the beginning of the year and had a more realistic idea, because I bought the damn car for the event. There's so many things and I've spent so much money already that it's ridiculous. I love the car. I'm keeping it and I'm still going to build it for racing. Um, you know, but it got to the point where I had to make the decision of whether or not I was going to pull out of the no name nationals. And like I said in the video, it was only fair to Dustin. Could you imagine if I pulled out like a week before and he spent all summer working on this car? I think his car's ready to go. Um, but I didn't want to give him any false hope, and you know, uh it's just not, it wasn't an easy decision. But I like I said, aside from the fuel, this is me. um that was a big factor, yes, but I can't tell you what the feeling is like when your daughter wants you to play with her and you have projects in the garage that need to get done. um so the stress, the stress levels that I have, because to be honest with you, I'm going to be candid here. I noticed that my attitude, towards my family was starting to shift a little bit because I was starting to feel the pressure. I was starting to feel the stress. Every time I was looking at the money coming in, I was like, oh man, this is going to be tight. And then I've got so many other things going on. It was stupid of me to not think it through before I accepted the challenge. And I will take that loss. I will take that. I'm an idiot. I should have really sat down and thought it over. Um, Again, thank you, Dustin, for calling me out. um, but yeah, man, I when that little girl says, "Daddy, let's play," "Daddy, come color with me," and I gotta go, "Hey, I gotta go work on this piece of shit Roadrunner." What would you choose if you choose the Roadrunner? More power to you. But my child's only young once, and someday she's gonna go, "Fuck you, Dad." I don't want, so when she still likes me, I would like to spend as much time as I can with her. And you know, she's 3 now. She just turned 3, so she's at a very fun age. I'm having a blast, and I'm gonna have her help me with the Roadrunner. I just need to get her outside. Um, but yeah, so fuel, family, time. Like I said, I'm jealous of guys like Ruben that can squeeze in a second job. If I could afford to the time, God, the time, there's just not enough of it. You know what I mean? Um, it's just, oh, I see in the chat, Joe's Mopar mess. John, close your ears. There's always duct tape. I joked with John. I'm not going to duct tape. I did joke with Johnny Mopar and I said I might see you at duct tape, but I won't be bringing my car. That's not sure. If there's an event September 30th and October 1st, I would attend. It would be the No Name Nationals, because the most disappointing thing, aside from not being able to race, is not being able to hang out with all the people that showed me support and are supporting this event. I want to see the action. There's going to be a lot of badass cars there, and let's be honest, the dumpster fire will not be missed with the amount of cars and the caliber of cars going. Um, you know, the dumpster fire was a tiny, tiny, tiny piece of that. Um, so it really is a bummer, but I'm also relieved. I can't explain to you the relief that I have now that the pressure is gone, and I actually am more motivated than ever to get it, which is crazy, right? But I'm more motivated than ever to get out and get my daughter out and help me work on the car, because there's no pressure. There's no deadline. I still would like to get it done just to prove that I could have. If I can get that car to fire up and roll, by, a week before September 30th, then I'll feel good that, okay, if the fuel was the biggest factor. But I can't explain to you the amount of relief, the weight that's been lifted off my shoulders now, that I made that decision. It was tough, man. The stress, just thinking about, man, should I pull out, or should I, you know, I it just it was killing me. It was affecting me. Not to mention the fact that I have been sick with the worst flu. It's not COVID. I've had COVID, and I got this flu, and I've been down for going on 3 weeks now. My voice is tattered. I've had a sore throat. It's been affecting my podcast. It's been affecting everything. There was a couple days where I was just down, and I've also been suffering from. I didn't know what it was, but I'm pretty sure I suffer from cluster headaches. I get migraines behind my right eye, and they're so debilitating that I can't do shit. I have to sleep, pound a bunch of Excedrin, and go to sleep. That's the only thing that helps. So I really need to go to the doctor. So I've been putting my health aside. I've been doing all this shit. So I just need to get, I've got so much on my plate. I have Facebook subscribers that I have giveaway stuff for Facebook subscribers. I still have to get caught up on those podcasts and those videos. There's just so much I have to do. And one thing less on my plate is worrying about how I'm going to get fuel to go to the No Name Nationals. So, man, it feels so good to have that relief. And now I'm excited to hopefully get a chance to go and get a bunch of awesome footage. So, it is what it is. If I can go there and shake some hands, I'll be more than happy. And for the longest time, I said just getting to No Name Nationals was a win. If I could roll there with the dumpster fire and get to No Name Nationals, that's a win for me, whether I win or lose going down the 8th mile. Now, getting to No Name Nationals and just being there with my friends, that's going to be the win for me. I already accepted the loss. I forfeited. you know. Um, that being said, I think Dustin's looking for a race. So if somebody wants, and going back to Ruben's offer, I would love to take him up on that. There is a part of me that gets a little bit, weird about driving somebody else's car, but we'll see how I feel when the day comes. But thanks for all you guys showing up in the chat. I really appreciate it. Let's see what's going on in the chat before I get into. Let me cover some other things really quick. Podcast updates. I know that some people were reaching out to me going, "Hey, what's with these really short quick history episodes?" They're like less than 10 minutes long. And to be honest with you, it was because my throat hurt so bad that I was like, I need to come up with something so I can get some content out. Because there was like a week or two where there was nothing coming because I just couldn't do it. And you can still hear it in my voice. So that was the main reason for those short episodes. But I also liked them because I thought this will be a fun way to get out more content, because of the shorter episodes I can post way more in addition to the longer episodes that I have, because I'm only allotted a certain amount of, I don't know, I guess storage, um, from my podcast host. So I can, 4 2-hour episodes will completely clog that up. Now, if I do 4 1-hour episodes, that leaves me a bunch of time to do shorter episodes, which are very easy to produce, So that was the main reason for that. Podcast is still going. As you know, some of you anyway, I have another podcast that I started with my friend Big Block. It's not about cars. It's about crazy paranormal stuff. A lot of you probably think it's crazy, but it's out there. We do that every Saturday night. So that's been something else that I've been working on. As far as my projects, dumpster fire, it's to the point now where I'm just going to try to get the 318 running. And now that there's no pressure from the No Name Nationals, I was really going to throw that car together, and I really did not like the idea of just throwing it together to get it to the event. Because I didn't want to go there with a complete piece of shit. You know what I mean? I didn't want people to be like, "Oh, this guy doesn't even know what he's doing." I was really going to throw the car together. I'm not even shitting you. I was going to throw it together as best as I could with the amount of time I had. And I knew that getting that car there, people were going to be like, "Oh my God, look at this piece of shit." I was expecting that, but now I can at least take a little bit of time. And if hopefully there will be a No Name Nationals too, and that'll burn me. that I wasn't able to participate in the first one. That's gonna not sit well with me. Um, but the only way to make up for that is to, you know, bring something worth it, to number 2. So I've decided to keep the 451. I'm gonna pull the ads on that here soon if nobody buys the stuff, and the big block's gonna go in the Roadrunner. Once I get the I do want to get the 318 running just to say that okay, it ran. At least I know I could have gotten that far. But it deserves a big block, so that's what's gonna happen with that. Um, the boogie van. I don't know if you guys saw the Ram that I just bought. So that's another thing. I bought a truck to tow the dumpster fire because I really wasn't comfortable towing with the Durango. I know it could have, but I'd rather. I'm more of a truck guy anyway. So I traded my wife's Cherokee in to get this Ram that has a tow package and shit. And I also, my uncle was talking about possibly selling his car trailer, and my uncle's one of those guys. Um, who takes really good care of his stuff. And he's had this car trailer since like the mid 90s. And the thing is immaculate. And I was like, how much do you want for it? And I don't know if you guys have noticed the price of just open car trailers are crazy right now. So I was going to rent one, and that was going to renting a trailer. I called a bunch of places locally. It was going to cost me several hundred just to rent a trailer. It was getting to the point where I was going to lie. I was going to lie to U-Haul and just say, "Oh yeah, it's a local thing, moving some cars back and forth locally." But even then, few $100s minimum. So I told my uncle I'll buy his trailer, and because he's not hurting for money. He's like, "All right, you can take it, and we'll work out some sort of payment plan, or after the event, you can just pay me in full." Because I told him the situation. So I essentially got a truck and a trailer for this event. So for anybody thinking that I never had intentions to go to the No Name Nationals, you're wrong. I really did. Um, I getting my wife to let me trade her car in and to take my daily driver, the Durango. That believe it or not, she was fighting me on it. I was like, "Let's get rid of your Cherokee, and you can have the sweet Durango RT." That was a fight, but we got it done. um, but it's man, it really is a bummer, man. But I guess when all is said and done, you know, uh, I loved being a part of this whole thing. It's been a lot of fun ever since the beginning. I was in this thing, you know, from the get go. I loved the idea of the event, and like I said, I'm still going to promote it. It's not that you know, it's an awesome event, and I can't wait to see who shows up and watch some fun racing because now I don't have to worry about running a car. Now I can have some. Now I can get loaded and have some fun. um, but anyway, back to the van. Now I have more time to work on the van because the van I've had for well over a year now, and I haven't really. I've done a little bit to it, but it needs a lot more work, and it's going to take a lot of my time. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, so now I have another summer gone where I could have worked on the van. I took on another project. Like last year, some of you have followed me for long enough where I sold off all my projects. I bought the Mr. Norm truck, and then I bought this van, and I was like, cool, the Mr. Norm truck isn't really a project. I can kind of tinker with it. That's fine. But for the most part, it's done. I can just enjoy it. And then I got the van so that I could just, wet my beak with another project. And then the No Name Nationals came along, and then I bought a car for it. I should have just, I love the Roadrunner, and I'm keeping it. But if I had thought it out a little bit more, I had enough money at the beginning of the year to pay for everything. And then I go and buy this fucking car, and I screwed myself. I could have just taken the truck, and I could have put some money into the truck and made it fast, or faster. Um, but regardless, the van, I really want to get that thing done and ready to go. I've been talking to my friend Blake from DIY Hemi. I'm thinking about making a trip down there next year sometime and bringing him the van and having him Hemi swap the van, to help promote his business and all that fun stuff. But because I think a Hemi van would be sweet, and a lot of people are swapping these vans now, so I'm like, sweet. So a bunch of 70s boogie vans with Hemis in them. I think that's funny. Um, so that's pretty much the update. Dumpster fire is still gonna get built. It's just gonna get built without a bunch of stress, and the boogie van's gonna get some work done to it. Thank God, because I was really putting that on the back. Well, now no name nationals to worry about. So sorry, Boogie Van. you know, uh, I really want to have a badass mobile podcast studio slash Boogie Van, and now I have the ability to put some more resources into that. So I'm happy about that stuff. Uh, before bunch of people outside. Before I open up this forum, um, I want to talk about the Vermont loophole. So I bought the dumpster fire, and there was no title. And the rumor has always been that there's a Vermont loophole where you can live in any state in the country and you can register a car in Vermont. They will send you Vermont plates. They will send you all your documentation, and you can take that to your local licensing office and get plates for your state, register it in your state, and get a title in your state with the registration from Vermont, which is true. You can do that. So here's where I went wrong. I get the Road Runner, okay, and I wanted to avoid any possible mess up on my end with the paperwork. So I found a company. I won't say the company because I don't want to make them look bad. But they give you a list of everything you need to do. It's a fee. It's like 150 bucks or 160 bucks. And they line up all the paperwork for you, get everything dialed in. So all you have to do, put your John Hancock on some stuff and send it off to Vermont. And then, you know, the idea was that they'd send you all your paperwork and stuff and your plates, and you go to the DMV and get your title for your car in your state. Okay. So here's some things that maybe you don't know. uh, the state of Vermont, while they do have a cool loophole, they also charge you a 6% tax on the Blue Book value, the NADA Blue Book value of your vehicle, which is fine. Except if you have a shitbox project car and you think you're paying 6% on the $1,200 you bought it for, you are wrong. You have to look at Blue Book on that car. And Blue Book, it doesn't have a category for shitboxes. It's like fair, good, excellent. And I was shocked that the car would be valued at $1,000 or $10,000 by Blue Book. Um, at first, because I called this company and I was like, look, this project, it's a project, blah, blah, blah. But in Washington, a way to avoid paying a lot for tax on these vehicles, because if you take a 70 Challenger RT, you got your paperwork and stuff, and you take it to a Washington State Department of Licensing, they're going to go, oh, cool. You bought this car for $5,000, but it's actually worth $75,000. They're going to tax you on the $75,000 that it's worth versus the $5,000 that you paid for it. So there's a thing that there's a piece of paper you can fill out called a declaration of value. So it tells you, or it tells the state what you bought the car for, what it's worth, and why it's worth that. So I had Scott, the guy I bought the Roadrunner from, Heaven's Mopars. Go follow him and subscribe on YouTube to his channel. Great guy. I had him write up the declaration of value. It's a project, needs this, 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 this. I should have just said it's a we should have worded it a little bit differently, because I thought, okay, I'm going to try to beat this tax a little bit more, because I didn't want to pay tax on a $10,000 car. Because at this point I was still trying to save any money I could here and there. And to make a long story short, not only did I send off all the paperwork, you need the piece of paper for the title application and registration application for the state of Vermont is called the VD-119 form. So you fill all that out, and you're supposed to look up the value of your car on NADA and send them a check for the assumed taxes. Okay. So that's what I did. And the assumed taxes were on 10 grand, because that's the cheapest I could go. And I send it off. And then 2 weeks later, I get a letter from the state of Vermont, because I also sent it off in case they were like, he bought this 73 Road Runner for $1,200. Because you have to understand, these aren't car people. You know what I mean? And he's trying to pay the minimum tax. It sounded fishy. Like, even to me, I was like, they might look at this and might get red flagged. And it did. And what they did was, so this is where they messed up. They sent me a readjusted value for a 440 Roadrunner. And I was like, motherfucker. Because I explained to them, I mean, just by the VIN alone, it's a 318 car, but they wanted to value it as a 440 Roadrunner. So that was a problem. The other problem was that I sent the declaration of value to them, hoping that that would justify the weird price stuff. I should have never done that because they looked at it and said, oh, this is a total project. It doesn't even have, it doesn't run, blah, 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 blah. It needs to be inspected by somebody in the state of fucking Vermont. So now they say, okay, well, send us this readjusted value. So I owed them more money, and um, then I had to get the car inspected. And I'm like, let me look this up, because I'm like, you want me to get the car inspected in Vermont? How's this possible? It has to be a Vermont registered inspection person, I guess. And according to everything I read online, it's true, on their website. So I took the refund, and I'm just going to get it registered through the state of Washington. So don't make my mistake. Don't say that the car's not running. Be prepared to pay a tax. And that would have been worth it to me, except for I didn't want to pay, if they would have assumed that it was a $20,000 car, I didn't want to pay taxes on a $20,000 car. That to me is ridiculous. But looking back, it might have been worth that extra expense. So now I have to get my car inspected anyway by the state of Washington. So that's going to be fun. So even if I did get the car running, I still have to load it up on the trailer, take it to Washington State, and hopefully they don't go, this thing is a ratty piece of shit. We're not letting this thing go on the road. So some things I had to deal with there, but that's just information for you guys thinking that the Vermont loophole is super easy, which everything was easy until I got that letter in the mail, and I was like, holy shit. But first of all, it's not a 440 Roadrunner, so you can go ahead and knock a few bucks off for that, please. So yeah, that was just it was an issue. But there's been a lot going on in this chat, so let's run in the chat. Buzz, I did get your message. I was gonna call you back if it wasn't too late, but it's already getting late. Let's go through this chat really quick, and then we'll open it up. We'll see if John Wilburn wants to jump on real quick. Up a little late, yes, sir. Joe's Mopar Mess, what's up? John Wilburn, what's up? The Fuel Relief Fund, that's something really cool that they're working on for helping losers like me that can. I'm just kidding. For helping people that are struggling to get to the No Name Nationals, that really deserve to go. They're working on a fuel relief fund, which I think is amazing. Ruben is a great guy. Duct tape. TT, yo, what's up, buddy? DRC, man, don't feel bad, and don't let anyone try to make you feel worse than you already do. You can get your car done and tested at your own place. Yeah, man, I agree. The only thing I feel bad for is if I let anybody down. It was never my intention to do that. If I let anybody down, it was myself. That's just the type of guy I am, man. For the people saying, that I don't have to explain anything. I don't feel like I have to, but to make myself feel better, I feel like I should at least explain. It would be weird if I just said, I'm not going, period. Don't worry about it. I'm not that type of guy. I know some people would totally do that, but that's just not how I am. Amen. My buddy Rick, who was one of the helpers that rode with me out to Spokane to pick up the Roadrunner. Fun guy. Has some really cool cars. Won a trophy for his 70 Challenger. Hey, Chris, sorry to hear you won't be taking the car, but glad you're still going. I'm going to try. 100%. John Wilburn, the car is far secondary to having you there, and that goes for everyone. Glad to hear you aren't pulling out. Just coming 4,000 pounds lighter. Yeah, probably 4,300 pounds lighter. I very much respect your family values. I appreciate that, John, especially coming from you, man. I really didn't. You were the last phone call I was planning to make. If I'm being honest, I was like, shit, But hey, if you need somebody else in the announcer booth, I know you got an announcer. But if you need a color commentator, I'm not gonna have a race, so I'll be free. Roadkill Customs, Buzz. Chris put John Wilburn. I will open the forum up for Mr. Wilburn. Kevin Curley, this guy sounds like Mama's upset. No, actually, all I had to do was put the Durango in sport mode and say, okay, yeah, go get groceries. And I got a text like 15 minutes later that said something like, I forget what she wrote, but she's like, man, when you really get into this Durango, she really gives it back. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And then I was like, oh, she likes how fast it is compared to her car. Break the news on your podcast. Yes, I will get John Wilburn on. Dutch guys, my work community. Yeah, man, I'm sorry about that, dude. DRC Racing Garage, what year is your Roadrunner? It's a 73. So one of the most hated. John Wilburn, you are participating just by being there, covering the event, and doing your thing. Just maybe racing and Ruben's ride. You're still very much a part of the event. I really appreciate that, dude. Like I said, you're the one guy I was like, man, I feel like I'm going to let John down. I should just get a t-shirt printed with the dumpster fire on it so it's there in spirit. U-Haul knows I hauled 30 to 40 89 Dodge out of. That's hilarious. Still are. It's not past tense. Awesome. Dust Devil Brian, what's up, buddy? Roadrunners are sweet. I do agree. Valuable info for those of us who need to do this in the future. Where was the car from originally? Washington, I believe. Washington or Idaho. Definitely Washington at some point. Johnny Mopar, what's up? Jacob, what's up, man? First time you caught a live? I'm glad. Bigfoot's in Mopars. 73 Roadrunners are way cool. Hey, man, while I got you on here, you need to check out the first episode of my paranormal podcast because we talk about Bigfoot, and I want to get your opinions. All right. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about, guys. I'm going to open up the forum here. It's 10:15. I'll probably give it to like 11 or so because I got to get up at 4 to go pull trash for people. All right. John, you're more than welcome to come on, buddy, if you want to talk about the Fuel Relief Fund. Anybody else that wants to join up, like I said, I'm probably going to shut it down about 11 o'clock because I do have to get to sleep. But I felt like I needed to release a podcast tonight, or at least go live. It's been a while since I went live, and I had some reasons for it, but a lot of guys were doing lives, and it was really fun watching theirs. But I've been missing it, so I will be joining on other people's lives now again. But here is the link in the chat for anybody that wants to join me on screen and talk about whatever's on your mind. No Name Nationals, the Vermont Loophole, which, going back to the Vermont Loophole, it will work. You can't be like me and try to game the system. I try to game it a little bit. You have to be prepared to pay taxes on whatever value, whatever honest value. And I was trying to be honest, but it ended up biting me. You have to be prepared to pay an honest tax because remember, they're getting you a title, essentially. So just be prepared to pay that honest tax. We got John Wilburn in the house. Let's bring him on screen. John Wilburn.
How's it going, Chris?
Man, it's going.
Sounds like you've had an eventful day.
A little bit, yeah. 94. Man, that orange sign's giving me anxiety, and I already pulled out.
The sign is for Brian, Dust Devil Garage. I've named the sign for him. That's his account now.
Man, he's something else, man. My hat is off to anybody that will pull this off. The whole thing, from building a car to getting the car there, whole different ball game, man. Whole different ball game. I still, part of me is like, see, now if I didn't live in Washington, this could have been a lot more doable. I really hate this day. If it wasn't for all my family and friends, I would have been gone years ago. But
well, it's the how timing is. Timing is always strange, right? But I get this in the mail, get an envelope in the mail from Buzz.
Mm-hmm.
And Buzz decided that and I already have this, by the way, okay? He decides he wants to do some fuel relief. And he's sending a little more, and I'm trying to raise a little more. Obviously, we're not asking anybody to dig into their pockets for money they don't have. That's not what we're asking, right? Because everybody is in a different situation economically. Everybody's in a different situation with where they live and what their commute is and what their own fuel bills and everything are going to be, right? So we're going to try to raise a little more if anybody else wants to contribute to it and have one nice pot of fuel relief money.
Nice.
Now, I don't want to be, because I know so many people so many of you guys, and I'm friends with so many people in the No Name Nationals community. I'm the registrar. I'm like, if there's one person you cannot get around dealing with this event, it's me. You could potentially come to this event without ever interacting with Dallas, potentially, but you have to interact with me in some capacity to come to it, right?
Yeah.
So I thought it was best that since we have so many really good quality people within the No Name Nationals community, it wouldn't be hard to do. I said, let me pick somebody to head up a committee to best allocate the fuel relief fund and get it in the hands of the people who need it most.
Yeah.
The people and people without other mitigating circumstances. Like, you know, like you said, you had family circumstances, and I completely respect that. But there are some people out there that maybe that fuel money is the difference in can they make it or can they not, right?
100%.
So we want a committee to get that in the right hands. So I've chosen Big Mike of Big Mike's Hoopty Barn. I think he checks all the boxes on somebody who I think would be right to lead such a committee. Okay? And then whatever the committee decides, there's going to be a few people on it.
Mm-hmm.
They're all going to be wise, smart people who are engaged with the community and well respected and universally liked. All of them are going to have those kind of qualities, right? And whatever the committee figures out and decides how to divvy this up and where it should go is whatever we'll do. But that's the plan. Okay. And so I'm working on getting this finalized with Mike here in the next couple of days. But
Awesome.
I know that we're going to have a few $1,000s here to be allocating. And
Yeah,
I hope that makes a significant difference to people who are feeling the crunch.
Yeah, I know that there's some guys out there that, you know, that will make the difference, and they will be able to participate
Well,
in
you
the
know
event.
what?
That's
You know
awesome.
what? Why don't you shoot a message over to Mike? Because again, I'm separating myself from this just because
Sure.
I know so many people, and I can't, you know, pick. Even though I feel like I could probably do it fairly, I don't think it's right. I want him to do it, but we want this to get into the hands of people that it'll make the difference whether or not they can attend.
Sure. I know for a fact that there's people out there that, you know, this is the big factor is the fuel. I have my own reasons. To
Right.
be honest with you, I'm really excited to go and cover the event. You know
So
what
you're
I mean?
still a participant. You're still going to be there. You're not pulling
Yeah.
out. That's the important message is that people need to hear. Hey guys, I'm still looking forward to seeing you
Yeah.
guys at Sykes, just like I was
100%.
before.
Yeah.
Just not bringing as much hardware with me.
I'll definitely have better content too, because I would have been stressing out just getting the car situated and all that stuff. And I feel like I'll be able to, you know, concentrate on showing off. There you go, Brian.
Yeah, I saw that. Hey Brian, this is for you, man. Right here. We actually did give Brian that. We gave him 35 extra days, and we had to change the date in January. That was his build time relief fund.
Man, I can't tell you how relieved I was when I looked up plane tickets. I was like, okay, that does not hurt as bad. And so I contacted Brian. I was like, what's the closest airport? He said St. Louis. He actually offered to pick me up there. I just got to figure out, because another thing that I didn't talk about enough was my schedule for work. So, you know, to not to come up with another excuse, but we're front loaded sick time. And me being sick for the past 3 weeks, I've blown through all of it. So all I have is vacation time left, and they don't allow you to break it up. And they only allow a certain number of people off at one time. And both chunks of time that I wanted this summer, they're blocked off. So I need to kiss some ass and see if I can get some time off. But regardless, if I fly out, even if I just make it out for Saturday, just being there, that's my goal, is to be there and to cover the event and, you know, get some good interviews with these guys and, you know, help promote their channel even past the first No Name. Because there's a lot, I think you've talked about it many times, but there's a lot of like diamonds in the rough that we've found just getting their channels going for the No Name Nationals. It's like, man, you got a great channel. Keep it going. You know, don't just let the No Name Nationals be your driving force. Let it go beyond that. So
well,
it'll
I'll
be a lot
tell
of
you,
fun.
just, you know, one thing that helps us a lot is just make sure people know that you're still going to be there, because there are an awful lot of people that want to meet you. There's a lot of people that want to meet Brian. There's people who want to meet Buzz. There's people who want to meet Tall Garage and all of these guys. And every single person there brings their own personal value to this event. because even though we're all car people and sometimes we get caught up in what cars are going to be there,
Yeah.
believe me, it's the people coming to the event that are making the event. We just all like
100%.
cars and that kind of thing, right? So
Yeah.
the most important thing is people want to meet you. So make sure that you tell them, hey, I'm not pulling out of the event.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just might not be bringing as much luggage with me, but I'm still going to be there.
Well,
ever since
it was started, I said I was going to be there. It wasn't until a Dutch guy decided to call me out with the guy,
right.
Call out a guy who doesn't have a car, a podcaster who doesn't have a project car. You're going to call him out. I think he knew that I think he knew I was the type of guy who was like, oh, damn it. Because I, like I said in my video, I'm not the type. I will leap before I think. It's always been it's been the best and worst quality that I have.
Contributes to your success.
Yeah, I mean,
Johnny Mopar's right. Chris is a rock star. He won't tell you that. He's too humble, but it's the truth.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that has always been, a big thought of mine for the No Name Nationals was just the chance, like you said, just the chance to meet all my friends that I see like this. Right. I want to shake everybody's hand and go, man, it's been a fun ride. Let's keep it going.
This is the opportunity to get to meet people that none of us could ever live long enough in one lifetime to go visit them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would never be logistically possible for us to, let's say that there are 200 or 300 content creators you would want to meet there. You couldn't live long enough in a natural lifetime to go see them all because they're literally spread out not only in this country, but Canada. We've got people flying in from Australia. This is the opportunity. This is it. So we want as many people to show up as possible. And if it changes, what you can do logistically with your car or whatnot, or you got to go with the Plan B engine or whatnot, hey, man, so be it. What's important is that we're all there. Because I know 100%. I want to shake your hand. A lot of other people do too. So I just wanted to get that message out there because people get a little too wrapped up in what they're doing with their cars. But the most important thing is we want to meet everybody in person, all the content creators.
Yeah, 100%. And for anybody out there that's in a position similar to mine, at least make it out to the event. It's still going to be, I mean, of course we want to see your cars and stuff there, but man, a plane ticket, if you're looking at fuel, a few grand like I was, and you look at that plane ticket and it's a couple $100, man, I'm telling you, you're going to be thinking like, now I'm thinking to myself, all right, I might have to come up with something fun because I didn't bring the car, but I have a little bit of extra change now. I might bring a special Talking Mopars award for my favorite drag car or something. I got to figure it out, but I want to do something, still fun, to contribute a little bit more than I normally would. But yeah, I'm relieved, but at the same time, I'm still plenty motivated and plenty excited for the event. And I cannot stress enough how much I almost got emotional today when I saw the video from Ruben about, hey, I talked to Mr. Hyde. He said it's cool. I was just like, shit, man, that's, I mean, what kind of guy does that except for a stand-up guy who's, a good friend?
That's typical what I mean? Ruben. That's what he does. As far as the fuel relief fund goes, I'm working on getting a video out tomorrow, and maybe late, but I want to try to get a video out tomorrow. I'm going to put an email address in there where people can, if they have questions about the fuel relief fund.
Cool.
As you know, it's kind of a tricky thing to administer, and we want to try to do it right. We want to try to get as much fuel relief in the right hands who need it as possible.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm trusting some really wise guys who've been around and are well respected to try to help make sure that we do that. But I'll put the contact email in the video I'll put out tomorrow. Okay.
Awesome. How do people donate to that fund?
You can. We'll tell you what. We'll do a link, probably a PayPal link in that tomorrow. Also,
cool.
That'd be the best way to do it. That way that we try to save as much as we can versus like a super chat or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'll come up with a couple different ways that people can contribute to that because, again, don't reach into your pocket for money you don't have. This community is so generous. We know there are people who would give the shirt off their back to help the fellow competitors, but everybody's in a different situation. there are some people, and it really is regardless of distance traveled. There are some people, for example, who might travel 2,000 miles, and the fuel might not be as hard as some people traveling 1,000.
Yeah.
Just because of where they are in life and what else is weighing on them, and you know, et cetera, et cetera. We're all in different situations, and that's what the committee needs to figure out. And I have every confidence they will. But we'll have a donation link and contact email in the video.
Awesome. Yeah. That's
but
really
please
cool,
share
man.
the video far and wide. We know that it's a tough time, and fuel's not cheap, and it is a considerable part of the commitment to come to this event. And we want as many people to make it as possibly can.
Yeah, now with the relief that I have off this year, now I can start building the funds for next year, so I have no excuses. um, but yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
And we might do that, Dust Devil. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
We can talk about it tomorrow.
yeah, 100%. I agree. That'd be a lot of fun.
Dust Devil, you're one I would talk with on that anyway, because it's practically a home game for you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of part of it. But
yeah,
I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, no problem at all, man. Like I said, I was like, man, I really don't want to talk to John about this. God damn it. Because I still am, like I said in the video, I still 100% support this event, and it's awesome. And I didn't want anybody, not that I have that much of an impact, but I didn't want people to be like, all right, if Chris from Talking Mopars backed out, then they're not going to give a shit if I back out. Please don't let my decision,
but you're not backing out. You're not backing out. That's an important point.
I'm just going back to the original plan, which was to go there and get some good content.
Plan of coming to the event.
Yeah. But like I said, hey, Dustin needs a race now, because I heard he's still going. So if he's still going, bringing number 43, then he needs a race.
Man,
so somebody needs to.
It is 12:30 Central, and Joe is still awake.
Just Mopar Joe, another good guy who reached out to help me. I appreciate you. But yeah, this whole thing has really brought out, you know, as far as a community goes, I have been nothing less than surprised, impressed. It's just really awesome to see the community come together and, like, you know, have each other's backs, man. Especially, I think I think we'd be lying to ourselves if we didn't say that everybody's got that on the back of their mind. The difference is, if I was 1 state away, this would not be an issue at all. Round trip is like 5,000 miles or near 5,000 miles, and all the math that I did, I was like, all right, well, you know, obviously it's not going to be as expensive as it is out here on the coast when you travel inland. We've talked about that. I've heard you guys talk about that. So I factored in, there's a website. I got to see if I can bring it up. But it's a website that you put in your travel, and it goes by state with average fuel costs, and it'll tell you approximately what your fuel is going to be. And unless the fuel comes down $1 or $2, my bill was going to be expensive, and it was insane to me. But you know, that was the biggest factor. But then the family thing, you know, I'm a softie, and when my daughter says, "Daddy, come color with me," and I'm looking at the piece of shit out in the driveway, then you get ready for the race. I don't want her to ever be like, Dad thought his car was more important. You know
well, I mean? Do remember that, you know, the idea is if we can take a little bit of this sting off, that can make all the difference to somebody who needs it.
Sure, 100%.
And that's important. I mean, you talk about a fuel bill. Look at Aaron Henry. He's flying here from Australia.
Yeah.
I mean, and, you know, I'm coming from a long way I didn't make this event, you know, close to me either. I wanted it to be in the center of the country, and Jeffers made all kinds of sense. But it's I think it's 12 hours for me, something like that. So it's a long trip for a lot of people, but it's doable. We just want to try to take some of the sting out of it. And, you know, we're going to get through this first year, and this is going to help. And I really appreciate Buzz. I mean, you know, he's a really thoughtful guy. This just shows up in the mail, and he just says, you know, hey man, I trust your judgment to get this in the hands of people who need it the most. So again, we're going to be putting out a video. It's going to explain this a little more with contact info, donation link. I appreciate everybody who will share it. I'll pop it up on my channel and send it to a lot of you guys directly. But we do want as many people as possible to be able to make this event, and we're going to be offering a little bit of fuel relief. We're raising a significant amount to help offset the fuel costs a little bit for the people who need it most.
Yeah, no, 100%. I do want to say that I know if I was in a different position and there weren't more than just the fuel issues that I had getting me to not make it, I probably would be one of the people, if I didn't have if I didn't have the podcast and the ways I make money, if I was just a 9 to 5 guy and that's all I had and I had my car and I was trying to make it, I would definitely be reaching out. You know what I mean? And I don't want
Right.
anybody out there that is going, "Oh man, I don't want to be a charity case." You know what I mean? It's not
Sure.
about that. It's about the community coming together to make sure one of our other buddies makes it. You know what I mean? So don't feel too proud to say, "Hey man."
That's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
That's seriously why we're doing it. We want as many people as possible to be able to make it, and try to let this be what can tip those scales when it's close.
Yeah.
We want that to make the difference.
I hope there's a dark horse out there with a badass car that's like, "Man, I have a chance and I can go there and show them this masterpiece I've been working on."
And well, the No Name 500 has done a lot of that. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people whom we would never have heard of that just came out of nowhere. Like, wow, how cool is this?
Yeah.
Where have you been all these years instead of YouTube? And it's been great.
Buzz from Roadkill. Look out. Don't be too proud. I'm upping my fuel fund commitment right now by $1,000.
Yep.
Buzz from Roadkill Customs. Another
And this
stand-up
is
guy.
just FYI, this is not part of his sponsorship contract. It's not part of what he does with the No Name 500 guys. It's not part of the content creator workshops. This is just him being a generous guy who cares about this event, cares about the participants, and wants to see as many people as possible make it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know. I've told him before. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you, and this is just the kind of thing that he does. Just being Buzz.
Go to any other event in the country and see what sponsors are reaching out to help people get there with fuel. Go. We'll wait. Go ahead. Go see. I don't think Freiberger's reaching into his pockets very deep to say, "Hey, if you can't make it to duct tape, here's $1,000 in fuel." You know what I mean? And no shade to those guys, but that just goes to show you the difference and what this community and what this event has done for the community. It's really mind-boggling. Harold says, "I hope to be starting a channel soon and make it to the No Name event." Hey, the best time to start a channel other than right now is yesterday. So start it right now. Fire that puppy up and let's go.
He's done 93 days,
Yeah.
22 hours, and 23 and a half minutes.
And it's funny because I still feel a little tiny bit of pressure because I still want to at least prove that I could have if it wasn't for fuel. So if I can get that fucking car fired up, that'll be a fun video because I'll be more excited than anybody's ever seen me.
Well, the most important thing is being there. The most important thing is being there. I would just say, I would encourage all of the participants to know that if you want to do the best thing for everybody's morale who is sitting there on a creeper in 100-degree heat working on the ride, just don't let these kind of things become a domino.
No, 100%.
It's so if it's fuel that's a struggle, let us know. Everybody's got their struggles. We're going to help with as much as we can. We want as many people as possible to be able to make this event.
Absolutely, and I think the turnout's going to be great.
I think so too. Without a doubt.
I knew making the video, I was like, shit. I was like, I still am. I tried to make it, pretty well known that I'm still going to do everything I can to make it to the event because that was always the idea. Like you said, I'll just be about 4,000, probably 4,300 pounds lighter.
That's the way it is.
Hey, Jed, I know I speak on behalf of all your buddies out here. I hope everything goes good with you medical wise.
Agreed.
Best of luck in your appointments and to your health, dude. That's the most important thing.
Yep.
Man, I have so
We
many
wish you well.
family members. Yeah, 100%. We wish you well. I've had so many family members battling cancer. That's the uh, that's the fight of the fight. The fight of all fights. So you got our support, dude. Um, but yeah, I really, it took a lot of soul searching to come to that decision. And what really pushed me over the edge was when I started thinking about, you know, all the people that were helping me or willing to help. And then, of course, Dustin, racing Dustin and stuff. I was like, man, with less than 100 days out, I better just either commit and hope that I don't have egg on my face, or just pull out now and save myself that embarrassment and at least be able to refocus and continue help promoting the event and getting there, because a plane ticket is going to be a lot less damaging to my wallet, and
Well,
I'll be still able to have
just
fun.
realize, I mean, the number one thing about this event is it's a homecoming for YouTubers.
Sure.
This is our opportunity to get together and meet each other in person, an opportunity we've never had before, and we want to be able to have again. But you understand, tomorrow isn't promised for anybody.
Yeah.
But September 30th, October 1st, that's like the tip of the spear right now. So that's what we want to try to do. And the most important thing is being there. And then secondary to that is whatever you may bring with you. We just want people to know that. So it doesn't revolve around that. It's kind of like the guy who can't enter a car show till his car is perfect, and then he never enters a car show because it's never perfect, right? We don't want people taking that position. We want them to be able to come out and enjoy this event. And, if you can't get the hardware and whatever together, that's okay. So that's the most important thing.
Yeah, no, and I had a couple of people reach out to me like, "What parts do you need?" And I said, "Hey, I was prepared to take the truck if I had to. I was
Right.
gonna go there with something. It is honestly fuel, and then the family stuff came second to that. But because that was my escape. I was all right. I'll just take the truck. If the car doesn't get built, I can take the truck and still get my family time and all that. But then I just the one deal, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but the one deal I had with my wife when I started the podcast and I started investing a lot of my spare time into all this stuff and to my projects and stuff, she said, "You can do whatever you want if you can make the money to do it aside from our family money." Because I have a lot of bills, and I everything that I do as far as Mopars and the podcast is all self-funded through t-shirts that I sell.
Right.
And I don't, I think people would be surprised at how little I make and how many trips I've been able to go on and
Sure.
all that stuff. It's all funded straight from this fund of t-shirts that I sell, because I don't make very much money on videos. Every once in a while I have a video that hits and I make some money, but I'm not rolling in dough. I'm a garbage man, for God's sakes. And I don't know if you guys have looked at prices of homes and stuff in Washington, and to live in Washington, you can't make less than $30 an hour and live in anything other than a ghetto apartment. You know what I mean? So it's just where I live in every day I think about if I lived in a better part of the country and made the same amount of money, like my life would be so different.
Well,
It's ridiculous.
this year is going to be about trying to find a way to make it work. We're going to look back on this year as being a tough one, no doubt about it. But hopefully, years from now, we'll be coming to the No Name Nationals several years from now and meeting each other at our pits, for the 5th and 6th and 7th time, and talking about, boy, that first year was tough. But we all got together and it was great. And I'm just hoping that we pull through this one. I know we will. This community is incredible. And if the thought is, if we make it through this year, which I know we will, then next year, no matter what's going on, it should seem like a piece of cake.
Yeah. And, although I pulled out of the race, if by some miracle I make the money to make this happen, I will still be taking the dumpster fire I just wanted to make sure I covered all my bases.
How many shirts do you need to sell?
Well, that's the thing. Let me see here.
Don't underestimate one good campaign.
If you want to help support Talking Mopars, you can go to talkingmopars.com and buy a t-shirt from the Talking Mopars merch shop. That'll help a lot. If I don't make enough money to fund the fuel, I'm definitely going to be regardless, I'll be donating some to the fuel fund because I believe in it and I believe in the process. But most of my t-shirt sales come from Amazon, because I have some designs on Amazon. So it's pretty tight. But I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible. I've had some months where I've just been blown away. And also the big thing is the videos. If one video takes off on Facebook, is where I make the money on videos. I'm not monetized on YouTube, but Facebook, the stupidest videos I've had have made so much money. And I say so much, it's relative. You know, grand here, grand there. But if one of them takes off, it could be it could be the entire difference. You know, so we'll see what happens. But I'm just excited to go to the event and meet all my friends. You know what I mean? Somebody mentioned something about what's going on with the tattoo challenge. I guess I have to get a tattoo now since I forfeited, but now I'm just, you know, Dustin and I will race. You know, somebody mentioned that. I think it was on one of my posts on Facebook. They're like, "Well, I guess you win. So what happens there?" And he goes, "Well, we're still going to race. It's just a matter of, you know, when we meet up to do it. And if No Name Nationals 2 is when that happens, then you know, hey, let's make it happen."
Well, bear in mind, not that we want to drag anything out for the drama of it, but it was in August of 2020 that Andy Wood and Uncle Tony's Garage were supposed to have their match race. That was
Oh.
supposed to happen in August of 2020 at Buffalo Valley in Tennessee. And Andy's number 7 connecting rod decided to fly out the block on I-40 and had other plans. And so it's taken 2 years and almost 2 months for that to happen. But it's going to happen. So, you know, you just never want to give up. But
No.
we wanted everybody to throw in behind this No Name Nationals, because we absolutely want to have another. We just need everybody to do the best they can with this one. We just love to meet everybody.
Yeah, 100%. I hope somebody else calls Dustin out so I can see what I would have been against. Maybe somebody out there with a 73 Road Runner, much like Dumpster Fire, is like, "Oh, maybe I'll step in for Chris. I need a tag team partner. I need to tag somebody in who's out there that wants to fill my spot."
There's all kinds of, look, you guys are all content creators.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of this event. You're all content creators. It's not like there's any lack of ideas or creativity of how you want to do it.
Yeah.
And that's why the most important thing is just being there. But again, we're going to have a fuel relief fund. I'm getting that together. Pledged. I have some sitting on my desk. I have some that's pledged to come in. I'm going to be raising some more. We're going to get a video out about that. And we're going to have a couple trusted members of our No Name Nationals committee, because I'm going to stay out of that. Just, you know, as the organizer, I know everybody. I've delegated that out to some really respected, trusted members, No Name Nationals committee. Big Mike of Big Mike's Hoopty Barn, he's going to be heading it. And we're going to get that fuel relief money in the hands of those that need it the most to make the difference in whether or not they can make the trip. Because
Awesome.
everybody's bringing their value. They're all bringing something unique. They may all be bringing some unique spectators. And we want as many people as possible to bring them and their value to this event.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, Dustin, I will race you on foot and I'll whoop that ass, dude.
Oh, I'd like to see that. Can you guys run 660 in 22 seconds or less? Because if you can, you get a time.
Man, that I might have to practice that and see if I could. I don't know. Oh, that's funny. Thank you, Buzz. I appreciate you. Yeah, man. I just the relief from not having to stress out about this event as far as me getting there and paying for fuel is, I can't explain to you how relieved I am. I would call him out, but only if I had you as part of my picker. Hey, you got me, dude. You got me.
Do it as a relay.
If
you do it as a relay.
If anybody needs somebody to get footage for their channel from inside their car, I would be more than willing to help you out with that. That would be awesome.
You guys should do a relay race.
Hey.
We could have Jed and Brian and Tall John, you know, and take one lane, and maybe you and Dustin, and
Oh man,
do a little relay race to see. There's
Yeah,
a lot we can do. As long as we're not tearing up the track surface, we can
yeah,
do pretty much what we want.
yeah. It's going to be one hell of a party. Racing. Gosh, I really want to make it there. What, on Thursday nights when you guys are going to that? You guys are talking about a
Yeah.
restaurant. And I was like, oh man,
Yeah,
that
we're
sounds
going to
good.
open the gates at noon on Thursday.
Okay.
And that's going to be able, because we got a lot of long haulers coming in and they need to get in, get set up and everything. And then we want to knock off just early enough in the day that we can still go to dinner at Lambert's, which is
Okay.
in Sykeston proper, in the town, not far away at all. And we tried to do a reservation, but they do not do reservations at all. I said, even if we want to reserve for 100 or 200 people, they're like, no. I said, but can we put 100 or 200 on the list? They said yes. So be there. When you come in on Thursday, I guess we'll caravan over and crash Lambert's at dinner time on Thursday.
Right on. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to have to talk to my boss. I want to get out there.
Who's who of YouTubers at Lambert's on Thursday. And it's not even part of the event really, but it's become it. I mean, after about the 20th person told me, hey man, we got to go to Lambert's for dinner. I said, yeah, you're right. So,
I may still rent a car. If I have to fly in, I'm probably going to have to rent a car if I can't meet up with Brian. So if I rent a car, I might fork out a little cash for something cool. And Dustin, you may still get your race. It just might not be in a badass 73 POS. It might be in something else. Okay, Scott. Jed Scott, I'm down for a midnight streaker foot race. If you want to see the baby bird, dude, I'll bust out the baby bird. Dust Devil, I would need a paramedic. Yeah. You'd have to I'd have to purge the asthma inhaler on the line.
Rick, yes, spectators can buy tickets like other events at Jeffers. They're going to be $20 at the gate each day, or $15 if you order them in advance. NoNameNationals.com.
Yeah.
And you can, and spectators can come out. We encourage that. In fact, all of you individual channels, please encourage your viewers. Let them know explicitly. Spectator tickets are on sale at the gate and online, NoNameNationals.com, because you want your viewers to come out. Because we all have some unique viewers. Yes, we have a lot of overlap, but we also have some unique viewers too. That maybe your channel or this channel or that channel are the only channels they watch. So,
yeah, make us feel like stars. We need to pack those stands.
Jed's bound to have lots of groupies, like groupies and ring rats and that kind of thing. Like you know that he can bring out a crowd. So.
Yeah.
Let the viewer know, Jed. They can get tickets. Same for all of you guys. Everybody has viewers. We want them to come out.
If you want to see Jed's Fuzzy Caterpillar live and in person, be in Sykeston, Missouri at Jeffers.
So I got a good Jed story for you that I actually can tell. Okay. So I had Jed on a live, I don't know how long ago. Jed, what was that, last year or something like that? We're sitting there and he says, if anybody will send a super chat, I'll show you my pickle. And it must have gone on like 4 or 5 minutes. I think everybody was afraid to, right? And then I see $1 super chat come through from Scott Speed Shop. He said, I didn't even see him doing this. I don't know how he did it. And then all of a sudden, this yodeling pickle comes up from the bottom of the screen into view.
That is such a Jed thing to do.
It is such a Jed thing. I thought it was funny, but
oh man, that's funny. All right, guys. Well, I still want to reiterate the community surrounding the No Name Nationals and how amazing it is. It blows my mind. I am a little disappointed nobody's reached out to me for my offer of helping them bump their channel up. But while I got John Wilburn on here, one thing that I haven't had a chance to really say this on one of your lives to help the No Name 500 guys, but I cannot stress to you guys enough. If you are on Facebook, promote your project in Facebook groups. There is a way you can do it without being spammy. And it's one thing that got me to 500 really quick. I got hundreds of subscribers just by going to groups related to my car and saying, hey, here's a project car I'm working on. It's for this race. I need to get 500 subscribers to be eligible for the race. So if you're interested in the build and what I'm doing, I kind of gave them a rundown of what I plan to do, gave them a link to the channel. And some pages, you know, you get the Facebook police that they don't want any promotion or whatever. But then you get some groups that, you know, are like that kind of stuff. And they're like, hell yeah, cool. A channel to watch with a car that I want to see get built. I think the amount of subscribers I got just on that alone, between that and jumping on Wilburn's live and him giving me a shout out, I hit 500 in less than 24 hours. So,
hey, Chris. So we do a content creator workshop every month, and if you can, we're going to try to do it the second Sunday in July. I'm still trying to get the date confirmed. Didn't want to do it over the fourth weekends. People have plans.
yeah.
But we tried to move it 1 week off of that. It'd be the second Sunday in July, and we've always done it right before Uncle Tony's Garage Sunday Live.
Okay.
If you would be welcome to join that content creator workshop, and you can tell these guys straight from your mouth, you know, about promoting on Facebook. That'd be great. We'd love to have you on as a guest at the content creator workshop.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely take you up on that. It's, you know, even though it's a YouTube centered event, you can definitely use Facebook. You know, social media is a very powerful tool. And some of these groups, they're not going to get you deleted in time before 100 people see your post. So, you know, if you have a compelling project, people will check it out. I promise you that.
I love that. I'll tell you what, that's warrior spirit right there. No, I really appreciate you having me on. I didn't have any agenda, but I thought, you know what, I'll jump on and tell people about it. I thought it'd be a really good time to do that.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you coming on, John. Like I said, you're the one guy I was like, man, I don't want to let him down.
I'll tell you this, just for anyone listening, in case it matters going forward. Never be afraid to call me if any of you guys got something like that. Just shoot me a message. We want to help.
Yeah.
Anytime there's something you need or something like, hey, man, you know, not only what can we do to maybe get our videos in front of more eyes, but I've got this challenge, you know, to get into the event or whatever. Let us know. We want to help. We don't want to say, oh, man, you're letting us down. Of course, we're not going to do that. We solve problems. We want to help you. So by all means, just shoot me an email, john@princetondragway.com. My email's on my channel. You can just let me know.
100%. For those of you wondering what we are talking about the No Name Nationals. It is an event for content creators, but open to the public for spectators. If you want to participate in the No Name Nationals, you need 500 subscribers on YouTube. That's it. And we can get you there. We're going to have to help you, but we can get you there. It's going to be an amazing event. It's September 30th and October 1st at it's Jeffers Raceway Park. Is that the actual name of the
Jeffers Motorsports Park in Sikeston, Missouri?
Jeffers Motorsports Park in
Yes.
Sikeston, Missouri. September 30th, October 1st. Yeah, come out. And if you don't have a car, you don't have 500 subs, just come out and watch. Hang out with all your favorite content creators. It's going to be a wild party. I'll tell you that.
It's going to be an event like no other. There has never been an event before with this many YouTube automotive content creators there. It will be a who's who of the YouTube automotive content creator world.
If you've ever wanted to see the Weird Hour in person, you're going to see the Weird Hour in person.
Yes, it will.
The amount of personalities that are going to be there, it's going to be fun, man.
I'm just going to tell on Buzz here. Buzz never put anything out like this. Buzz doesn't pull his own chain, nothing like this. He sends me a message and just upped his stakes on what he's going to send personally out of pocket for the fuel fund.
My God.
No one would ever even know, except I just told you and whoever's listening to this. You guys don't realize Buzz is a really good guy. You know, he's a good guy by all appearances, certainly what you do see, but he's a really good guy behind the scenes, what you're not seeing.
Yeah.
And we appreciate him so much. But man, I mean, really, seriously, he just sends me a message upping the ante and raising what he's going to personally out of his own pocket send to the fuel fund.
Awesome.
So, whatever else we raise is great, but man, he is making a huge difference.
100%. And, you know, I think he not only is he, you know, a huge supporter of this event, but I think he sees, like so many of us, the potential in this type of event and the fact that it's never been done before and what it does for a community. You know, for all we know, we've got the next, million subscriber channel in the No Name 500 right now,
Wouldn't
who,
doubt it at all.
who's just
Wouldn't
waiting
doubt
for
it at all.
that one video that goes viral. It's very possible.
I mean, I think I'll tell you, all car stuff aside, it's really meant a lot to my life personally. The people I've gotten to meet through this.
Oh yeah.
There are just so many people that perhaps our paths from wherever they are in the country and in the world would never have crossed had it not been for this event. So to me, that has made everything worthwhile.
Yeah, it's really crazy how wide of a net has been cast with the community. Like you can pretty much drive across the country, and if something happens, you can make a post like, "Hey, I broke down over here." Somebody's probably within a stone's throw that can come and help you out.
And that's an important point. Yes,
Yeah,
we're going to be working on the routes, the caravans that are coming, and convoys. That's going to be very helpful, I would say, before it's all said and done.
That was actually one thing I was looking forward to during the trip planning, because I had already started planning my route and stuff on how I was going to get there. And then I realized there's a lot of other people coming from this area. So if we could all convoy together,
You still may be able to do that. You still may be able to hitch a ride and film the convoy.
maybe. So that was one thing that, man, that was I was gonna go live so much because that drive alone, because I couldn't get in. I tried to get Johnny Mopar to co-pilot with me, and he was being stubborn. But I was like, well, if I need a company, I'll just go live and just talk all 36 hours of the drive.
Harold is asking when the content creator workshop is. We do one every month, and it's usually about the first Sunday of the month. We're going to move it back a weekend this month because of the 4th of July weekend. But we don't have it confirmed yet, but we're looking like that second Sunday in July. It'll be on my channel on YouTube. My channel is my name, John Wilburn. I see you're coming from Facebook. But we have some real pros with YouTube who help people get their videos in front of more eyes and get more subscribers. I mean, we have Buzz. We typically have Blake from Bad Tree Productions. Hopefully this time we'll have Chris Albrecht from Talking Mopars too. I hope so. I'll be there, and we try to help people position their videos and content for as much success as possible. And the people who've been attending them and implementing those things have seen big results and have gotten their 500 subscribers in shorter order than they would have otherwise.
Yeah, and Harold, feel free to reach out to any of these content creators. We're all pretty much,
yes,
average Joes, and we'll help you out. Whether it's don't do this at first, do this at first. We've all been there. We've all done what we've done. And all of that knowledge together will definitely get your channel up and running, and hopefully see some success, man. So I think it's 11 o'clock. I gotta hit the hay. John, thanks for joining me on the show.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
100%. Anytime. You're welcome. Anytime.
And thanks for your support of the event. We appreciate that too.
100%. Like, I've been in it from the get-go. I want to see this thing succeed, and I'm just looking forward to the party. It's going to be a hell of an event. No Name Nationals, Sikeston, Missouri, Jeffers Motorsports Park, September 30th, October 1st. Be there, be square. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time. Remember, no Mopar left behind. And if you want to see the dumpster fire in Sikeston, Missouri, one way to possibly help make that happen is to buy a t-shirt at TalkingMopars.com.
I'm promote that.
TalkingMopars.com. Visit the merch shop and buy a Talking Mopars t-shirt. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Have a great night, and we will see you next time.